How you doing today? This is Zach Allen. I'm going to show you a drill that I give to every one of my students. It's an absolute staple, right? If you're working with me, taking lessons with me in person, it's something that I think everybody should do from time to time because it's really good for just the general health of your golf swing. And I call it a pivot draw, okay? A draw for me, a right-hander, is a ball that's going to curve from right to left, and your pivot is just the action of your body, okay? And the reason why that's important is typically, you could hit a draw with your hands, right? More in this fashion, and I could get the ball to draw, but to do it correctly, right, we want to do it with our body. And that really helps to kind of synchronize the arm and club unit with the pivot. The guy that comes to mind the best, take a look here. This is Zach Johnson. And, he won the Masters, British Open. The guy hits draws better than anybody ever did, just consistently, a one-way miss, just absolutely made a great living, great career off of just predictable ball flight. He obviously did other things very well, but you notice as he's swinging, you don't see a big release of the club to hit this draw, right? He's really hitting it with his body and some of the alignments of his arms and wrist, right? And that's what I want to kind of show you today. And what happens when you do just some practice of this, it helps just to kind of firm up, tighten up, liven up your impact to where it gets a little more compression, the ball flight's a little more penetrating, a little bit better distance, and it gets this whole structure as we get into impact. It just tightens all this up. No chicken wing, no flip, no roll, none of those things, no early release. It starts to kind of just really take care of all that. So you'll see a lot of great players will do a drill similar to this. So what I want you to do is I've got a towel here that's on the ground, and it's just kind of a small semicircle. You could do it with a row of balls. I'm using a towel today. And I'm going to place a ball out here at first. I'm not going to hit it. All I'm going to do from here is I'm just going to preset the club to where my trail elbow is touching my side, and the face is in a rather strong position, right? So the club face is a little bit stronger. And this isn't exactly where I'd want you to be on every swing for sure coming down, but it's a good feeling that we're just kind of presetting. So obviously, we're not going to take the club back like this, but we're presetting the impact or the release interval to where it's going to be fixed, a fixed outcome, and we don't need to make any changes for impact. So get up, bend your trail elbow, hinge your wrist, turn the face down towards the ground slightly where I'm taking the knuckles of my lead hand, I'm pushing them down in this fashion. You can see what that's doing to the club. That's actually closing and de-lofting the face more. And then I'm getting this elbow in nice and close. And now from here, here's the pivot part of the draw, right? Because now the draw is kind of built in. I'm going to just be rotating my body around this red towel. Like I feel like the path of my hands is going around because that's what the body does. The body causes rotation in a circle, and then my hand path follows in a circle. I call that curving the hand path, right? This is how you could hit a draw. I see people like this hitting draws all the time. It does draw, but it's a weak, slappy draw. It's not exactly how we want to do it, okay? So once you kind of have done a few rehearsals of just, okay, elbow in, turn down, pivot my hands around the corner. From this view, you'll notice when I do it, when I get to here, there's actually still a gap between my forearms. I haven't done this at all. The problem is just as humans, right, we all get a little lazy with stuff. We start letting this thing go down at the bottom because we still get good club head speed, but that's when we start to get some sloppy impact conditions, some inconsistent stuff. Where you look at the video of Zach Johnson, as he's coming through, he's hitting that draw and there's still a window between his arms. There's been no big roll over, right? So he's really just hitting that draw with his body. And that's what I want to kind of get you to feel. Once you get back to this kind of preset condition, just move your body. Do not let the club release from your wrist. Do not let your trail arm. It's going to stay right on my side the entire time. It's going to stay hooked to it. Boom. Just pivot my body and turn. Hands going in a circle. And then boom, I'm going to stop right here. And the goal would be you can hit little draws from there. So the first one I would do when you get to the range, I've got an 8-iron. I would probably try to hit it maybe around 50, 60 yards and see if we can get some curve. And I hit it harder than that. 112. I am noticing here it does have a left spin axis. 4.6 degree left means the ball's curving left, okay? I tend to use this drill even for myself because I'll start leaking the ball a little high and right, and this just helps, like we talked about, kind of firm up my arms and my power package coming in. Nothing's getting loose or out of position, and it helps to strengthen up the club face. So let's try it again. That worked out pretty good. Elbow into my tummy, club strengthened down. Now kind of grip the ground with your legs. I kind of bounce because my feet are what move my body. So it's an awkward drill because we're doing it from a preset. Now I'm going to feel my body kind of energized so I can kind of start to slowly move it in that circle. All right, here, grab the ground with my feet, and then go. So a little bit thin, but the ball is bending nicely. 109-yard carry, 15-degree spin axis. I definitely never felt the club go to this, right? Which I get that way too. And it just thinks as human nature, we always seek the path of least resistance. And as we get out there playing, hitting, it's just so easy to let this happen down at the bottom and to let that club whip on by. But that's not what the best players are doing. As I study great players more and more, and the best players and the players, they're usually doing what's a little harder, right? Harder being they're keeping their body moving. They're not just letting it whip down here from their hands, okay? That'll hit good shots from time to time, but not every time. We want something that happens more every time. So go out there. If you like my teaching, be one of my students. Do that consistently, right? At least periodically, especially if you start seeing, I'm kind of leaking the ball to the right. It's going a little shorter. It's going a little higher. Let me tighten things up. Let me tighten the screws a little bit, right? Same thing that drill will do for you, it'll do for me, right? It'll get you hitting a little farther and straighter in no time. I will see you guys all next lesson. Have a great week. Thanks for watching. If you're looking for a way to get more consistency in your golf swing, then I've got just the thing for you. I've put together a 3-part training series where I walk you through an easy process with one goal in mind, giving you a more efficient, athletic, and consistent golf swing. I call it the Consistency Clinic, and you can get the entire thing free of charge by clicking the link right here. This training series isn't available anywhere else, so go ahead, click the link right now, and I'll see you on the other side.